بینەرانی بەڕێزم کاتەوە و هەموو کاتێکتان شاد و کامەران خۆشحاڵین کە لە هافەیڤینێکی نوێ بە دیدارتان شاد دەبینەوە. هافەیڤینی ئەم جارەمان زۆر جیاوازترە لە تەواوی ئەو هافەیڤینانەی پێشتر لە کوردستان 24 ئەنجام درەوە. ئەم جارە لەگەڵ کەسایەتیەک دیدارمان هەیە کە نوێنەرایەتی یەکێک لە وڵاتە هەرە مەزنەکانی جیهان دەکات کە توانیوێتی شوێن پەنجەی بە سیاست و ئابووری بە سەربازی تەواوی جیهانەوە هەبێت. دەنگ و ڕەنجی خۆیانیان هەیە. ئەویش کۆنسۆلی کۆماری میلی چین زۆر بەڕێز لیو جوێنە. بەڕێز جەنابی کۆنسۆل گەلێک سوپاس بۆ ئەم دیدارە لەگەڵ کوردستان 24 شەرەفێکی گەورەیە بۆ ئێمە کە ئەم دیدارە لەگەڵ کەسایەتیەک ئەنجام بدەین کە نوێنەرایەتی وڵاتێکی مەزنی وەکو چین دەکات. بەخێربێن بۆ کوردستان 24 گەلێک سوپاس بۆ ئێوە.
It's my pleasure to be with you today here.
زۆر باشە. جەنابی کۆنسۆل بە هەندێک پرسیاری گشتی دەست پێ بکەین. دەمەوێت شیکردنەوەیەکی کورت سەبارەت بە دۆخی ناوچەکە، من بەبەستم ڕۆژهەڵاتی ناوەڕاست و وڵاتانی ناوچەکەیە، ئێوە خوێندنەوەتان بۆ ئەم جەنگەی ئێستا کە تا ڕادەیەکیش ڕاوەستاوە لێنەوە ئەمریکا، ئیسرائیل، ئێران، خوێندنەوەتان چییە؟
Yes, this is very important, and also it's a good time for us to have a review of what has happened. We are let's have a reflection of what has happened. You know, in the past almost 50 years of the conflict, we see it's a big tragedy has happened. The human loss has been staggering, you know. So a few days ago, I saw the news that in Iran alone, almost 3,500 people have lost. Another 35,000 people has been injured. So that's a huge casualty. And also in other countries across the region, we see much casualty as well. So because of the conflict, because of the war, we see the economy has come to a full stop. We see the flight has been grounded, the free movement of the people has been paralyzed. So that's a tragedy. You know, everything stopped. So if we look at the past century of the Middle East, we see that this region has been trapped in the vicious cycle of the violence. If we look at the root cause, you know, we believe that the root cause is the brutal foreign interference of the big powers, and the way they try to solve the issues is unjust, is one-sided. So we believe that if the Middle East cannot be safe, the rest of the world will not be at peace. So that's very important. So we believe that we should go back to the root cause, and we believe that we should not return to the world that the might makes the right. We should not return to the law of the jungle.
زۆر باشە. دەست خۆش کەواتە جەنابی کۆنسۆڵ، ئێستا ئاگربەست ڕاگەیاندراوە. چین وەک وڵاتێکی مەزن ڕۆڵی گەورەی لە سیاسەتی جیهانیشدا هەیە و تەئسیری لەسەر لایەنەکانی جەنگیش هەیە. چین چ ڕۆڵێکی گێڕاوە لە ئاگربەست و هەم لە کۆتایی هێنان بە جەنگەکە؟
Yes, since the war started, China have been watching it very closely, and during the conflict, China has been trying to cool things down and try to push for peace. And in recent important meetings between Chinese leader President Xi Jinping and with the leaders of the other countries, especially with the leaders of the Gulf nations, And China proposed several very important ideas for the resolution. First, we believe that coexistence is fundamental. And we believe that the countries in the region, they can live in peace with each other. They are the neighbors that cannot be moved. So first, a very important principle is the coexistence. Second is the national sovereignty. We believe that's a foundation, that's a lifeline for the developing countries. It's like a bread and butter, for each nation. If without national sovereignty, we cannot have security at all. So we believe the national sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity should be fully respected. That's the second principle. Third, we believe the international rule of law is another fundamental principle. So it's in the world, we don't have the unified government, but we have a United Nations. United Nations Charter should be fully respected. And some basic international law which governing international relations should be fully respected. Otherwise, the world will be in disorder. Finally, another important principle is that we should balance the security and development. It's like the two sides of the same coin. The development is the foundation for security, while the security is a guarantee for the long-term development. We cannot separate each other.
باش دەستخۆش بابینە سەردۆخی کوردستان جەنابی کۆنسۆڵ بە خۆ دەزانی لەم جەنگەدا چەندین جار هەرێمی کوردستان کەوتە بەر پەلاماری ئێران و هەم گروپە چەکدارە عێراقیەکانیش دەمەوێت بزانم تێڕوانینی ئێوە تێڕوانینی چین سەبارەت بەم بابەتە چییە و ئایا چین ڕۆڵی بێلایەنی هەرێمی کوردستان چۆن دەنرخێنێت؟
Yes, when we look at the status of the KRI, I would say, well, now I'm speaking not like a diplomat, for the past 50 days, starting from 28th of February all the way to April 7th or 8th, almost 50 days of conflict, I can feel the same anxiety as you did, So let me, to be frank with you, for the 50 days, I have been living in my office straight. I unable to go home because of the risk. So I really can feel the same way as you did. So I believe the KRI's position is very important. Although KRI is not a party to the conflict, is not direct party, but unfortunately we see that KRI has got entangled into it. Every day we face the risk of the drones, missiles. We saw the explosion in the skies. Each family, it's hard for family to explain to the kids, why this happened. But anyway, I believe the position taken by the Kurdistan, especially by the Kurdish leadership, I believe they are very wise. They have a very good position. The Kurdish leadership always says that the Kurdistan region should not be used as a launch pad for any attacks and aggression against neighboring countries. And this is a very important position to take. But my advice is that it's important principle. We believe that the Middle East belongs to the people of the Middle East. So you should have your own destiny in your own hand. And if you put your security in the hand of the others, and eventually you cannot avoid, involvement in the conflict. So I believe that's very important. So you need a strategic autonomy for the security.
باش دەستخۆش جەنەبی کۆنسڵ گەلێک سوپاس هەر بە سەبارەت بە چین پرسیار بکەین هەندێک وڵات لەم جەنگەدا چینیان تاوانبار کرد بەوەی کە لە ڕووی سەربازیەوە هاوکاری ئێرانیان کردو جەنابتان دەڵێن چی؟
Right. Well, between China and Iran, certainly we have a good relationship, and we have the normal state-to-state relationship. This accusation is not reasonable, I believe. This accusation directed at China is a typical example of the double standard. So we see that a certain country, they send massive amount of the weaponry into the conflict zone. Then at the same time, they say, oh, the other country, you cannot have any legitimate cooperation with one of them. That's not reasonable. It's a typical hypocrisy.
زۆر باشە دەستخۆش جەنەبی کۆنسڵ هەر با لەسەر ڕۆڵی چین پرسیار بکەین بۆ خۆ دەزانی ئەم جەنگە کاردانەوەی گەورەی لەسەر ئابووری تەواوی جیهان هەبوو لەسەر هەموو جیهان چین وەک وڵاتێکی مەزن لە ڕووی ئابووریەوە من قسەم لەسەرێتی دەتوانێت لەم قەیرانە گەورە جیهانیە چی پێشکەش بکات بە دیاریکراویش لە ڕووی ئابووریەوە
Right. This is a very important question. And certainly this war in the first place should not have happened. But even it happened, we have to deal with it. The challenge is tremendous. But for the country like China, we are a big nation, so we have to face it and deal with it. But I would say that actually this time the impact on China is not that much. And some, according to some media report, they expected that China will suffer a lot during combat, but actually we didn't suffer a lot. The impact on China was minimum. You know why? Because many years ago we have shifted our strategy to green energy transition. So we put a lot of effort trying to develop the high tech on the green industries. So reduce our reliance on the fossil fuel like petrol and gas. So that's why this time we could withstood, with a strong power, any global energy shocks. So we can protect our economy from the global energy shocks. And here I would like to emphasize 2 points. So first is when I said, we move to the green economy. So we don't have much impact. Second, I want to emphasize that as I said before, that let me elaborate a little bit on the balance between security and development. We believe this is very important for the region. First, you have to focus on economic growth and social progress, because only by achieving economic growth, then you have the power and you have the resources to maintain the order. So this is very important. But second, you also have to balance that when you have the economic growth, you need security guarantee. Otherwise, if you don't have the security, you suffer from the constant conflict, cyber attack, or financial risks. The economic progress could disappear, could be wiped out overnight. So you need the balance of these two important tasks. It's like the two wings of the one bird. Without one wing working, the bird cannot fly. So this is very important principles.
ڕاست دەست خۆش جەنابی کۆنسڵ بابینە سەر پەیوەندیەکانی چین لەگەڵ هەرێمی کوردستان. ئێمە لە هەرێمی کوردستان زۆرمان خوێندوتەوە لەسەر شۆڕشی چین و گەشەی چین. پەیوەندیەکانی کۆماری میلی چین لەگەڵ هەرێمی کوردستان لە چه ئاستێکدایە؟ بەرنامە و پلانی هەردوو لە کۆماری میلی چین لەگەڵ هەرێمی کوردستان بۆ داهاتوو چییە؟
Okay, before I touch upon the bilateral relationship in China and the Kurdistan region, I want to give you a big picture, you know. So right now, the whole world is well into the 21st century. We are facing some common challenges like climate change, like drug issues, like poverty issues. So the countries on the earth are supposed to depend on each other. You know, we need more cooperation rather than the conflict and wars. So that's why, given this task, that's why Chinese leaders, our President Xi Jinping in recent years have proposed some very important concept. First, and we believe that the whole country in the world should build a global community for the shared future. So that's a very important concept. But how to achieve that? So then our President Xi Jinping proposed some very important global initiative on the security, on the development, on the civilization, and last year he proposed on global governance. Those are very important initiatives which are aimed to move towards the global community for the mankind. So then on the economic side, he proposed a very important global economic project, cooperation project. It's a Belt and Road project. So those are all important concepts and also specific measures try to achieve that. So then, okay, let's talk about the relationship between us. I will say that in the past decades, the bilateral relationship between us has been moved pretty fast, especially since we established the Chinese consulate in December 2014. Then after that, because we have an institution here, the relationship has been on a very fast track. So I will say each year we will see something new. We will see our relationship have moved a step forward and forward. And right now on the street, you know, you go to the shop, everywhere you will see the Chinese product. You see the Chinese automobile, you see Chinese mobile phones, and you see a lot of the electric household goods like air conditioner, you know, refrigerators, you know. So by having Chinese products, good quality product, I believe the people here, they benefit a lot. And also on many industries, you know, Chinese company they're coming to explore the business opportunities. Actually, in certain areas like cement industries, like construction materials, Chinese companies are doing a great job in helping the local partners to upgrade their capabilities.
بەڵباشە دەستخۆش کەواتە جەنابی کۆنسڵ پەیوەندیە بازرگانیەکانی مادام باسی بازرگانیەکەین پەیوەندیە بازرگانیەکانی کۆماری میلی چین و هەرێمی کوردستان لە چه ئاستێکدایە لێ ڕازین؟
Yes, as I said, this relation is very important for both of us. And I will say right now, we have moved from we just sell a cheap goods to this market. We move beyond that already. And right now, I will say that China has been a very strong driving force for Kurdistan's long or non-oil industry sectors. So China has become an indispensable for the Kurdistan's economic growth and investment. So I will say that. Because, you know, as I said, not only you see a lot of the Chinese product, but also in terms of the agriculture, manufacturing, green industries, the climate change, poverty reduction campaign, on many areas, I believe we have big potential for the further cooperation and the development. So certainly right now, we see the Chinese AI industry as making very fast progress. I believe in the future between us, we can apply more AI to empower the local industries and manufacturing. So that's areas that we have more potential to grow.
دەست خۆش کەواتە جەنابی کۆنسڵ دەکرێت بزانین ژمارەی کۆمپانیا چینیەکان کە لە هەرێمی کوردستان کار دەکەن و هەروەها لە چ بوارێکیشە کار دەکەن ئەگەرچی ئێوە ئاماژەتان بە هەندێکی دا و چەندێک خەڵکی چین لێرە کار دەکەن و پلان و بەرنامەتان بۆ داهاتووی کارەکان چییە؟
Right. Right now, as far as I know, that across the Kurdistan region, we have about 3,000 Chinese people, Chinese citizens. And in terms of the company, I would say more than 50 companies, Chinese companies. They are either state-owned companies, and also we have a lot of the private companies, like Huawei, and a lot of the automobiles companies. We have the Chery, Geely, Haval, and even now we have the Hongqi. A lot of the Chinese brand, they are coming to this market. So, as I said before, that the Chinese company has been integral part of the local economy, and for example, last year, there's a Chinese mobile company. It worked together with the local partners. They set up an assembly line to produce the Chinese brand smartphone, mobile phone. So this is very important upgrade of the local manufacturing. So I believe in the future we can do more. Maybe in the future we can have another automobile assembly plant right here in Kurdistan region. So I believe there are a lot of our two economies are mutually complementary to each other. This relationship is symbiotic. So you need China's speed and technology to build, and we need Kurdistan region as a strategic gateway, to set up a headquarters, then to reach out to the rest of the Iraqi. So this relationship built on the mutual need and the pragmatism.
دەست خۆش جەنابی کۆنسڵ کەواتە بە هەر لەسەر بواری ئابووری قسە بکەین پێت وایە ئەبێت چەند سەرمایەدار ئەگەر زانیاریتان هەبێ چەند سەرمایەدار و خاوەنکاری کورد لە چین کار دەکەن و لە چ بوارێکیشە ئەگەر لەوێ بن کار دەکەن؟
I'm sorry, would you repeat?
Yes. من ئەمەوێ بزانم چەند سەرمایەدار و خاوەنکاری کوردی خەڵکی کوردستان لە چین کار دەکەن و لە چ بوارێکیش کار دەکەن؟
Right. Yes, that's a very good question. I don't have exact number of the Kurdish businessmen who are operating in China.
بتقريبي چند يعني
Yeah, but roughly I would say that quite a few. For example, in a small city called Yiwu, located in Zhejiang province, Yiwu is famous for international commodity center. So as far as I know, that there are at least several hundred Kurdish businessmen. They have in business operation in Yiwu. They open shops, they buying goods, they sell it to the Kurdistan market. So several hundred. So then we have a famous Canton Fair, which take place twice a year in the springtime and in autumn. So whenever we have a Canton Fair, So a lot of the local business people, they come to our office to apply for Chinese visa to visit the fair. So I can say that every year, not only we have quite several hundred Kurdish businessmen, they are right stationed in China doing business, but also there are another several thousand businessmen. They are traveling to China looking for business.
کەواتە جەنابی کۆنسول دەست خۆش مادەماتی لەسەر ڤیزە و سەردان یعنی چ پلانێکتان هەیە ئێوە وەکو کۆنسولی چین کۆنسولگەری چین تا ڤیزە بە هاوڵاتیانی کوردستان بدەن بە ئاسانی سەردانی چین بکەن و ئایا ئەگەری ئەوەش هەیە گەشتی ڕاستە و خۆی فڕۆکە لە نێوان چین بۆ فڕۆکەخانەکانی کوردستان دروست بکرێت؟
Yes, this is an important issue. I know this is very important. And maybe you know as I know that in the past, the cost for applying a Chinese visa is sky high. It's sky high. And so it was in January 2024, the Chinese consulate opened the passport and visa service for the local people. So that means that Chinese consulate become a full-functioned institution, consulate. And it was exactly because of the previous high cost of the Chinese visa. So when we start the visa service to the local community, we applied a new approach. So the new approach is try to reduce the cost, try to make it more convenient, more affordable for the local people to apply visa. So in the past, we are doing okay, but to be honest with you, recently we find some issue with the Chinese visa application process because right now we see some middlemen, some agencies, they created some new monopoly, new interest group, and try to keep the price high for the applicants. So we have noticed this issue, and we are going to do a bottom-down overhaul, try to tackle this issue. And eventually we hope that we will reduce the cost, for the local business community and try to encourage more people to go to China for business.
زۆر باشە دەست خۆشکەواتە ینی ئومێدی ئەوەش هەیە کە ئیتر گەشتی ڕاستە و خۆی فڕۆکەوانی لە نێوان چین و شارەکانی کوردستان دروست ببێت.
Yes, this is a very interesting question. And actually, in recent years, quite a few local companies, they come to my office, talk about whether we could open direct flight. Because that's also one of our wish. If you have the direct flight, it's very much convenient for me and my staff to go back to China. But right now, the issue is not only for the visa. Right now, we only issue business visa to local people. We haven't issued any tourist visa yet. But since last year, we have got permission from the Beijing that from now on we can issue tourist visa. But it's not easy. It's not easy process. It might take a while. So certainly we encourage local people, Kurdish people, to travel to China, and we are going to issue tourist visa. But again, as I said, for the business visa, the cost is still high. For the tourist visa, we haven't started yet. We are working with some travel agencies, try to have a new approach to issue the tourist visa. But all of the issues haven't solved yet. But in the near future, I hope that people from here who travel to China can get visa easily, and also the cost for traveling is reasonable. And eventually, we have the more demand for traveling to China, then I believe direct flight will follow through.
زۆر باشە جەنابی کۆنسول دەست خۆش من دەمەوێت پرسیارێکی تر لە جەنابتان بکەم بە خۆ دەزانی کابینەی نۆهەمی حکوومەتی هەرێمی کوردستان بە سەرۆکایەتی مەسرور بارزانی کۆمەڵێک پرۆژەی استراتیژی و گرنگی لە هەرێمی کوردستان ئەنجام داوە لەوانە پرۆژەی ڕووناکیە کە دابینکردنی کارەبای 24 کاتژمێریە بۆ خەڵکی کوردستان من دەمەوێت بزانم ئێوە جەنابتان تێڕوانیتان بۆ ئەم پرۆژەیەی سەرۆک وەزیران و پرۆژەکانی تری چییە؟
Right. This Runaki project is so important, very critical. I believe it's not only the infrastructure project, but also it's a livelihood project. It's a public interest project. It's so important because when you can enjoy the 24 hours electricity supply, then it improves your quality of life. And also it's a big support for the whole community. So that's why we see this project has been so welcomed, by all the people across the region. We really appreciate his effort because in the past few years, according to my experience, the outage of the blackout, the really a headache to everyone. So I really hope that this project will continue to stay and also it creates a very good environment for everybody because if you have the stable, continuous supply of the electricity, then we don't need those private generators. Then we will have a clear sky, more fresh air. That's good for everybody.
دەست خۆش جەنابی کۆنسڵ با بێمە سەر هەندێک پرسیاری تایبەتی بۆ خۆتان من دەمەوێت بزانم چه جۆرە خواردنێکی کوردیتان پێخۆشە و هیچ وشەیەکی کوردیش فێربوون ئێوە لێرە؟
Since the first day I arrived, I enjoyed the Kurdish food a lot. I've been to a lot of the dinners, banquet, and the most delicious food I like most. I like is the dolma. Hazamla dolma, yeah. Yeah. I'm not a meat person, but dolma is so delicious.
زۆر چاکە هیچ وشەیەکی کوردی فێربووی؟ هیچ وشەیەک فێربووی بە کوردی قسە بکەین؟
Okay, let me try. Zmani Kurdi esta dahwanam balam Mani Kurdi zahmeta.
یۆدارم فێر بین جەنابی کۆنسڵ دو پرسیارم وڵاتی چین یەکێکە لە وڵاتە هەرە مەزنەکانی جیهان ئێوە نوێنەرایەتی ئەو وڵاتەکەن دەمەوێت ئەگەر بە کورتیش پێم بڵێ من سوپاست دەکەم پەیامتان بۆ خەڵکی کوردستان چییە چۆن خەڵکی کوردستانیش سوود لە ئەزمموی چین وەربگرێت
Okay, so it's my pleasure and honor I want to convey an important message to the people of Kurdistan through Kurdistan24. My message is pretty simple and important, and in the past time, the Kurdish people has suffered a lot, so we have tremendous sympathy, and also we appreciate your resilience, perseverance. So in the future, we believe, we wish to work together with you, try to have more innovation. We encourage entrepreneurship and try to create more jobs for the young generations. And we want to share our experience of the modernization and with the people here. Eventually, we hope that by working together, the Kurdistan region can achieve prosperity at the same time to have the security.
دەست خۆش گەلێک سوپاس جەنابی لیۆ جوێنا کۆنسولی گشتی کۆماری ملی چین بۆ ئەم دیدارە لەگەڵ کوردستان 24 ئەمە شەرەفێکی گەورە بوو بۆ ئێمە سوپاسانەکەین بۆ ئەو کاتێ بە ئێمەتان بەخشی سوپاس بۆ ئێوە
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. زۆر سپاس.
سەرچاوان بەڵێ بەرزان ئەم هافەیبینشمان لەگەڵ زۆر بەڕێز لی و جیناک کۆنسولی گشتی کۆماری ملی چین لێرەدا کۆتایی تا دیدارێکی نوێ و هافەیبینێکی نوێ شاد و بەختەوەربن.